Alright, hey, looks like we're good to go. Hello everyone, welcome to Court of the Rings here on twitch.tv/LotraStream, youtube.com/Lord of the Rings/live, and facebook.com/Lotro. I'm Lotro's community manager, Cordovan, and I'm going to be hanging out with you for the next hour, doing a little bit of Q&A, and doing some questing on Black Book of Mordor, just kind of cooking along there on my level 125 here. So, champion, and just kind of having some fun with you on a Friday. Hope you are doing well. Hope you are staying safe. Hope your family is well. All that sort of thing. A couple of bonuses to pass along before I get too far into the schedule, or the rest of the show here, rather. I would say that we do have a 25% XP boost going on. That is through Sunday the 17th, being shut off at 3 a.m. Eastern on Monday the 18th. Additionally, this is the final weekend of the anniversary event. That runs through the 20th. So you have a couple of weekdays after this. It runs through next Wednesday, being shut off on the 21st at 3 a.m. Eastern. So, anniversary event is a thing, and something, if you want to get that done, you've got your weekend here and a few other things. Also, the secret's out. The secret event has been discovered by the community, and people are working through that right now. I have been asked to not provide tips, tricks, advice, hints, anything like that, so I'm going to stay with that mandate here for the show today. But the forums will help you out if you want to get started on that, figure out what you need to do, and run it. So. Meredith running through it on their own with no forums. Thank you for that. Hope you're having fun with it. Yeah, there is a lot of spoiler stuff on the secret event. I guess I would say that there is a prereq to it. So you need to have run the first secret thing before you run the second secret thing. But again, if any of that's interesting to you, just check out the forums if you want to figure out how to get started and you haven't figured that out on your own. Hello from Boston area to the person in Houston. Hello from Brazil. Nice. This will be the last Court of the Rings prior to me picking up my son this weekend. I've got an 8-year-old who's going to be hanging out with me through the summer, so you can expect these Friday streams to perhaps feature some 8-year-old antics in the future weeks. His dad's going to be at home, working from home for a little while, at least longer, and wouldn't be too surprised if he got involved a little bit in the show, because he likes streaming a lot, so. How to make your character selection screen more faster to load. I would say the key to that is get an SSD. Solid state drives are going to, frankly, improve your experience on Lotro and most other video games dramatically. Alright. So I'm going to Ekadil, which is back this way, right? Yep. Alright, so I'm going to have to kind of fight my way back down there. People were saying last week that I took a long route around, so let me see if I could find a shorter route this time to get back to Ekadil, or however you say that. Sorry, Eileen, that you're having a bad experience. I'm not quite sure what it is your issue is, unfortunately. We definitely do not intend to be, quote, mean or cruel. staircase should be this away. Right? Is that right? Yeah. Please reduce cooldown, it is bad in combat. Please reduce cooldown, it is bad in combat. Please reduce cooldown, it is bad in combat. Someone's spamming up the YouTube channel. I could pass that suggestion along. I don't know if I agree with you, but that's fine. I know that the team would love to do more hairstyles, beard styles, and all that. The art resources tend to be pretty maximized in our team. We don't necessarily have much in the way of free time to do things like that. But I'm sure given an opportunity, the team would love to do more of that kind of thing. Nothing to announce about being able to purchase Lotro points outside of the Lotro market. Or outside of the Lotro store in-game, sorry. As soon as we have more information, we will. Same goes for, frankly, most of the kind of standard questions that we get on the show. Nothing new to pass around about character transfers other than we have been working on that this week. We have had some opportunity to sort of figure out our path forward there. So progress has been made, although not much visible, or really much to comment on. Sorry. Is this inside or outside? Let me double check that. No, I do not want to do that. Sorry. I know I'm stuck. What did I do? I went the wrong way. Now I'm in trouble. You know what? Let me just do this the cheesy way. Because I would like to move things forward here. Oh no, that is actually correct. Okay. Hello, horses. Where are thee? Would like to ride thee. No! So close, but yet so far. Am I doing it wrong? How do I get out of here? How do I get out of here? Well, let me do this the cheesy way. Oh, there we go. Good thing I bound, huh? Yeah. We're going to do something about champion survivability. I am not sure that I agree with the assessment, but it isn't up to me. the hunter buff was lower than expected. So I've been seeing mixed feedback on that, with it split between the hunter buff is not enough and the hunter buff is too much. I've seen some forum threads basically saying, well, now that hunters aren't super OP. And I've also seen your comment, Haderb, that the buff was perhaps not as much as it should be. So, at this point, on the community side, my feedback is some people feel it's too powerful, some people feel it's not powerful enough, and I'm not sure what the path forward on that one is. It'll be data-driven. Chromite put in a link to the secret the secret new quest here in Twitch chat if you want to follow through on that. The problem is that the background on the selection screen is actually landscape. I don't think that's true. Pretty sure it's a static little bit of essentially GIF video. Just trying to keep up on chat. Okay. So we are not the only ones taking an interest in Minas Morgula. From your report, it sounds as if Ugarkor and Lerath have both sent their forces to the city, and Gothmog still commands a significant portion of the orcs within. Furthermore, the Morgul cultists spoke of one called Dolgulzagir, about whom I have heard little. Alright, time to speak to Mithrandir. The Valley of the Secret Shadow.
I will tell both you and Prince Faramir what I have learned.
Alright. Instance time.
Faramir, I must ask that you not pepper me with questions.
I don't know that I would trust me to explain to Faramir anything that he does not understand. I would say, you know, that's... I appreciate the kind words, Mithrandir, but, no.
These are the halls of memory, where the words of Voin give shape to deeds from long ago.
Mark, I know wants to see some additional instruments in the game. I know that our composer, Bill Champagne, would love to add more instruments to the game. I don't know that Irish Bouzouki is on that list. Some kind of stringed instrument like a mandolin certainly would probably be fairly high on that list. But I haven't really heard of any distinct plans to do more at this time. Yeah, I don't know. For 3 years, Voyn and his new companions adventured the length and breadth of the Grey Mountains and northern reaches of the Misty Mountains, hunting down the remaining vestiges of Angmar and bringing battle to the evils dwelling in Gundabad. Never did they know defeat, and their triumphs emboldened Prince Irnur. He remembered a promise he had made years before. Intent on seeing it fulfilled, he invited his companions to make the southward journey to his home, to Gondor. They would stay for a time in Minas Enor, as his city was then called, and plan the occasion of their next victories. Really, the 10-year anniversary album no longer on Spotify? That's a bummer. That would not really be something we'd have control over. That 10th anniversary album was published by Huge Sound Records, Chance Thomas's label, so perhaps if it is no longer available on Spotify, there's some licensing or contractual issue there, but that's not something we have any control over. Oh, I will say that I added some instance music to YouTube for Minas Morgul here, about a week ago now? So if you have not had a chance to check those tracks out, there is some more music available on YouTube. Up next is going to be the Update 26 stuff, whenever time permits. Lutcher needs a banjo. Why are there so many songs about hobbits? That actually, no, I can't say that. I'm not sure. Sorry, I don't have anything to announce on that regard. I heard something about Legendary later this year, but that wasn't the next thing. That's a bummer. People are saying Huge Sound Records are temporarily shut down due to, I don't know, some issues going on about music licensing, legal stuff. That's a bummer. I wish them the best of luck. The new event is not time limited. There is a time limited deed associated with it. However, the event itself will be available long term. Did I say anything about champ survivability? I was away, sadly. No, other than that's something, along with everything else related to classwork, that our team will have to look at and be data driven on. Since it's a little bit of a slower week this week, I don't really have a whole lot of news to talk about. Let me use the chat room for my own gain. We talked, was it last week or the week prior, that I do not have a good edition of the original, the Lord of the Rings trilogy. All my old paperbacks and that ended up getting sold off back in my radio days during a move. And although I certainly have the books I can check out from the office and all that sort of thing, I am curious, because I am a flea market nerd, as some of you may know. Flea markets, thrift shops, consignment shops, those are my bomb. And I am curious, what would you, the community of Lotro, recommend I keep an eye out for? I'm not looking to spend, $250 on a instead of the trilogy, because I just don't have that kind of money. Plus, I've got consoles to buy in the near future. But in terms of a relatively modestly priced trilogy set, what is your recommendation? What should I be looking for? A particular set published. I like hardcover over paperback. That's just me, especially if I'm going to pick up one from my personal library. I think I'd prefer hardcover, but I'm open to what you think the edition I should keep an eye out for. And also keep in mind, I'm not buying this new on Amazon. I almost never buy new things ever. I'm a flea market, thrift store, consignment shop kind of person. Enemiga is commenting on the relative slowness of our customer service right now. I can talk a little bit about that. Right now, our customer service team is frankly swamped in tickets. A combination of recent issues with lag, game performance, a lot of returning players with our free initiative where all adventures and stuff are free through the end of May. A lot of kind of old people trying to sign ups, hey, I played 6 years ago and I'm looking to get back into it now. I need CS help with a password and what have you. So the number of tickets is, without exaggeration, 4 to 5, maybe even higher than that, than usual. And so what that means is that it is true that our customer service response is slower than usual right now. I can say that they're working as hard as they can, but where once there were hundreds, now there are thousands in terms of tickets. And so it's taking a while to get to everyone in as timely a manner as both you and I would like. Will there be any console Lotro? No, probably not. I really don't see us bringing Lotro to console anytime soon. Sorry. So I'm not looking for the movie trilogy, I'm looking for the books. You have the hardback Millennium Edition, sent you pics. Yeah, that sounds cool. We'll take a look at that. Ooh, that does look cool. I see that right now, too. I like it. That looks like a kind of what I'm looking for there. I will keep that one in mind. Nothing to announce about physical merchandise for Lotro. We would love to be able to do it. We would most likely have to offload that work to a third party. I really just don't see us adding the capability to do physical goods shipping to our office. Don't get the 6-volume Black Millennium Edition. Okay. Alright. Vegan leather box. That sounds good to me, because I am a vegan leather box kind of person. I don't get real leather unless I absolutely have to, and I usually don't have to. Yeah, I had heard that, Druids, about what was going on with Huge Sound Records, but that's not really anything I'd want to comment on publicly. I Hopefully that gets worked out for him and everyone else involved at Huge Sound to a way that benefits everyone. Okay, that. Oh yeah, that Amazon set edition, that doesn't look too bad either. I like it. I like it. An apparition approaches. No, no, no. I don't want anyone buying me the books and shipping them to the office. We have the books in the office. This is for my personal collection in my own library, and I'll probably pick it up at. I do a lot of flea market stuff, assuming flea markets open up again this summer, and that's probably where I'll end up buying it. I'm sorry about Twitch. I'm asking people to let me know when they're dropping links in chat, but links aren't allowed on Twitch for anti-spam. Can you make your own personal Lotro shirts, like, for yourself? I am sure that the lawyers would say absolutely not. That said, if you make your own t-shirt, screen print it yourself, who's gonna stop you? Who's gonna care, right? I think the issue would be mostly whether or not you attempted to then sell it to other people. I know I've seen some, like, kinships that have put together their own shirts and mailed them all out, and no one's gonna play, copyright police on something like that, I would imagine. It would be mostly whether or not that showed up on, one of your t-shirt selling sites. That might be a concern. I too miss the flea markets and thrift stores. That's my jam. Middle-earth Treasury set looks pretty good. Pocket edition hardbacks. That's cool. Would it be possible to put convenient player-usable seating for small groups to be able to use to play instruments in a pub? Also, large or special furniture pieces to have the same effect in kin houses. That sounds like a great idea, and one I'm going to drop into a notepad and pass along. I don't see why we couldn't do something like that, unless there's some kind of music instrument specific animation issue. But that sounds awesome, so.
quite a tale.
Cool. Nothing to announce, Anding. Sorry. Anding is wondering basically whether we're going to be changing things up at the end of May here, but we'll talk about that as we can.
The man with the shield? Aye, I remember him. What did he name himself? Arnulf, I think he was called.
Searching for something? That's funny.
Our work is never done, is it?
Alright. So now I am going to the location marked on the map. Alright. Cirith Ungol. Let me see. Where is our stable person here? Do we not have one? No, this one. That's the reclamation people. That's that. That's that. Where am I going? Okay. For these way. There we go. Now I see on the map. Alright.
It does not tarry.
But you are not sending me where I want to go. So, fine. We'll take the long way there. Right. So yeah, Cirith. Oh, Ekad Terdim.
Will you help bear my burden, friend?
You have the old green-red leather set mainly because it looks cool. I agree. It does. I know that set, and I think that looks cool too. Above Manwë, yes, the stable stuff is planned for the Rohan housing. And I believe you'll be seeing that on Bullroar in the not too distant future. Do I know if the nerf on Captain's bleed skills in 26.1 was intentional? I believe it was not in the patch notes, but did happen. I would need to follow up on that. I believe the answer is yes. And the reason it wasn't in the patch notes is that the thing that caused it was in the patch notes related to the Fate crit fix. So while that specific impact of the Fate crit bug fix may not be in the notes, the Fate crit bug fix was. But I could be just off on that. I'm trying to just go off the top of my head here. Generally, America the Brave, the issue we run into with re-offering the old kind of collector's editions of the expansions is that they were legally time-gated in their marketing copy. It's frankly one of the main reasons we don't do that anymore. So in any case where there was a order by X to get Y, we are pretty much legally obligated to not offer that in the future. Any idea of when the race change may be happening? Not for a little while. We ran into a pretty significant bug with it that we have to work through. That's a significant engineering task, and our engineers have a lot on their plate right now. So as much as we want to allow you to purchase it, and you want to be able to purchase it, it's just not ready yet. I like the idea of like a hobbit wagon. Basically a mobile housing thing. Now the way Lotro does its housing tends to be, I think, not conducive to the idea of a mobile waypoint like that. But the idea is cool.
Faith alone will not stop the enemy.
Okay, where am I headed? Out and around. Okay, you're specifically looking at Captain's Bleeds. I'm just gonna have to follow up on that. I'm not in a position to offer any wise or comment as to intentionality at this time. Sorry. We would love to offer as much storage as you want to buy. There are some technical considerations that need to be put into place. Database size, character data bloat, that kind of thing. That tends to be the limiting factor on the amount of storage we're able to offer. What was the big surprise we were to get this week? The surprise is a new quest, and I don't know. I don't want to spoil it too much. Can I give the name? I think it's basically out there at this point. So it's a new secret stone.
That it lies on the threshold of the Shadowed Land cannot be mere accident. Dark forces are moving, and though Morgoth's domain is ended,
his servants abide still.
I see that Hundalar has not yet sunk a dagger in your back.
Basically heading up to the northeast. I'm just trying to catch up on chat here. You know, I love the Fifth Element movie. Just totally apropos of a chat question here. One of the things about it is I saw it in the movie theater back when it originally released, and distinctly remember that as of the time of its release, it was pretty much panned, not just critically, but by sort of the geekosphere at the time. And I thought the movie was awesome, and so I am happy to report that thankfully it seems like the rest of the world caught up with the truth on that one. But yeah, I remember when that first came out, people were kind of trashing it. Just goes to show, sometimes you never know what people are going to discover kind of after its initial release and reevaluate, you know?
What does Ugrakor's captain have to say to his master?
There was one, is it Valerian in the City of 1,000 something? I've got it on Blu-ray here, and that one also got kind of trashed by critically and commercially when it got released. And I like that movie too, so I'm actually kind of expecting that to be similar. That maybe in 5 to 10 years' time, people are going to rediscover and be like, hey, you know what? The movie's actually kind of awesome. We have been reading about the Black Arrow traps, not so Slim Jim. That is something I would expect us to take a look at when we can. Am I misremembering you hinting that this new mystery quest line was intended for endgame players? Don't know whether I said anything like that, but my understanding is it largely is around at least level 115-ish to really even get started, and those folks are having some difficult times. So I do think it is largely something for people at the end game.
I beseech you to send help
But
with speed.
it's for anyone who
I
can
might
do it,
sooner return
ultimately.
home and know once more the bliss of your touch. I remain your beloved, Celeborn.
Faith alone will not stop the enemy.
Dubbing stuff. So I've spent quite a bit of time today sort of echoing back people's concerns about champion mitigations and cooldowns. I don't have anything to announce. Hopefully I will have something to announce in the future, but I don't have anything to announce today, sorry. No, we have no intention to do like a GoFundMe. Meanwhile, we have people saying it's nearly impossible to die as a champion in solo play. Why do we have movie critics? Oh, I know, right? That, while I love, you know, reading Pauline Kael's work and things like that, it has occurred to me as well that, especially in our post-internet era, where everyone's got an opinion, the value of movie criticism is perhaps not what it was. It's darn well possible to die as a champ in single play. Yeah, so I guess that's, you know, what we were mentioning earlier on the Hunter work we've done. It's pretty rare that we see universal opinion on class balance. I think we did largely see wide enough opinion on, say, Hunter DPS that it was pretty unquestionably clear about what we needed to do there. And some of that work was done here, you know, in update 26.1 here. But when you get to a lot of other classes, particularly in areas of survivability and that, you have a lot of competing interests and competing opinions on it. I think some of it is content related. If you judge class balance based on tier 3 of the most recent raid, you may have a different opinion about the balance of a class than someone who is looking at a broader set of data to determine class balance. Can you raiding someday? Yeah, probably. I'm not much of a raider in general in gaming, but... And I've also found that raiding tends to be a little labor intensive up front for a live stream thing, but I'm certainly not opposed to it. I think if you're expecting to use this show as a metric for raid balance, you will be disappointed, however. That is not the intention of the show, nor will it probably ever be. If you want to see rating on Twitch, YouTube, and that, there is some of that available. I'm always down to have a regular raider who is willing to broadcast regularly and has a good sense of broadcasting capability. You know, they're not rude or insulting and all that other kind of stuff. If someone is out there listening to this and say, I would love to show Lotro's rating on Lotro Stream, then get in touch with me. In the past, when I've put that call out, I've tended to hear not much of anything other than, well, I wouldn't stream my rigs if you don't want our strategies to be spread out, that kind of thing. But I'm not opposed to it. So if you're a raider out there on Lotro Stream and you've got, you know, this kind of broadcast show that would be suitable for an official company channel on Lotro, then get in touch with me through the private message system on the forums or Twitter, and I'd love to see about maybe onboarding a regular raider on Lotro Stream. And I'm not saying raiders are rude or anything. I'm just saying that, you know, like when I look at some of the YouTube videos, some of the language tends to be a little rougher than I think we would be able to get away with on Lotro Stream. And perhaps there's some copyrighted music issues and things like that. But that's solvable. So if you think that you've got sort of if you think you'd be a good fit for sort of the way Lotro Stream works, then I'd love to see more rating on Lotro Stream. It's just not going to come from me, and certainly not if your goal is to kind of prove a point about raid metrics or balance or cooldowns or whatever it is you're trying to do. It doesn't make sense to put that demand on this particular show. That's not really the purpose of the show.
After the defeat of his armies at Pelennor, Gothmog fled to Imlad Morgul.
The tower is sure to be well protected.
Alright, I'm going to say this is probably pretty close to where we should wrap up the show here. Let me just double check to make sure that's correct. Yeah. So we're heading back. Let's see about getting that stable master to me, Smorbird.
Be wary, my friends. Evil spoils these grounds.
And it's true, we have done, over the years in particular, there's been plenty of raiding on Lotro Stream. Stine, Elda, I know, Caden's done some, I believe. We've had several raiders on the show, or on the channel, and have historically heard that that's not good enough. But that's fine, that's fine. So make it good enough, if that's you saying that. Let's see you on here. I'd love to see you bring some of that rating quality and strategy in that you would like to see on our channel. So store code for this week is Arid Luin Blue, and it's for a blue dye. Yeah, I agree. Not so Slim Jim. That particular streamer is someone I've kept an eye on over on Twitch and YouTube, and I agree. I think that provided they were interested in something like that, perhaps you could give them a hint to get in touch with me. Or maybe they're just not interested, and that's fine too. But, yeah, I think that person might well be a good candidate.
Let us hope you bring glad tidings, friend.
Alright, let me do one last pass-through chat. As of now, on my server, they're using all champs as DPS for T2, T3 raids. Champs are doing 450,000 DPS. I guess that just kind of underscores that there is a plurality of opinion on class balance, but ultimately that'll be a decision for our systems team to take a look at, use data and feedback to hopefully put champions where you'd like them to be. Alright, so that is going to wrap up the show here today. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be back next Friday. We have got Coriolson in just a little bit, and you can find the full schedule over on twitch.tv/LotroStream. Thanks very much. Hope you have a great weekend. Hope you're having fun with the anniversary event. 25% XP bonus through the weekend. And I will see you next Friday. Have a good day, all.